What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we've got a massive story breaking out of Dallas that's got Cowboys Nation completely stunned. This one came out of nowhere and nobody was ready for it. Reports are flooding in that Brandon Aubrey, the Dallas Cowboys breakout kicking sensation, has officially left the team, and fans everywhere are trying to figure out what on earth just happened. This is one of those news stories that stops you in your tracks because Aubrey wasn't just another player on the roster, he was a crucial piece of this Cowboys puzzle. The man came into the league from such an unconventional background, made his mark instantly, and suddenly, just as Cowboys fans were beginning to trust their kicking game again, boom, the headlines dropped that he's out. So let's break this down, talk about what's really going on behind the scenes, and explore how this move could completely reshape the Dallas Cowboys' future. You know how it goes. Before we jump in, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any breaking Cowboys news because this story is wild. Now, if you've been following the Cowboys for a while, you already know how much of a revelation Brandon Aubrey has been. His journey is one of the most unexpected stories in modern NFL history. This guy wasn't drafted, he didn't come from a traditional football background, he was a soccer player who transitioned into football almost by chance. After spending time in the USFL with the Birmingham Stallions, he got his big NFL opportunity when the Cowboys signed him. And from there, it was like lightning in a bottle. He walked into a kicking situation that had been unstable for years and brought calm, confidence, and a cannon of a leg that could hit from beyond 60 yards. He quickly became not just reliable but record-breaking, setting marks for consecutive field goals made and showing range and poise beyond his experience. Fans fell in love with him because after years of nervously watching kicks hook left or die short, they finally had a guy they could trust. That's why this news that he's leaving the Cowboys hits like a punch to the gut. So the question that everyone's asking right now is simple: why? Why would Brandon Aubrey leave the Cowboys, a team that seemed to finally give him a home, stability, and a fan base that adored him? There are a few possible explanations, and to understand them we've got to look at both the player's perspective and the team's. First off, there's always the business side of the NFL, and let's be real, this league is a business first. Even though kickers don't get the same headlines as quarterbacks or wide receivers, a good one can demand serious money, especially when they're at the top of their game like Aubrey was. It's entirely possible that contract negotiations between the Cowboys and Aubrey's camp broke down. Maybe he wanted a record-breaking deal, and rightfully so, given his performance, but maybe the front office wasn't willing to go that high for a kicker. Dallas is constantly juggling the salary cap, trying to keep their stars like Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb happy. So when it came time to talk about extending Aubrey, perhaps the money just didn't line up. And when that happens in the NFL, players walk. Sometimes teams make business decisions that sting, and this might be one of those moments. But maybe, just maybe, this wasn't only about money. Sometimes players leave because of fit, opportunity, or future vision. Aubrey might have wanted a longer-term commitment, something that guaranteed him a sense of security beyond just a short-term deal. Or maybe another team came knocking, a team that offered more money, more stability, or a chance to compete for a championship right now. Remember, kickers don't usually get a ton of recognition, but when they're elite, every contending team wants one. If another franchise came in with a big offer, you can't really blame Aubrey for exploring it. And let's not forget, Aubrey's story is about taking risks. He switched sports. He bet on himself before. Maybe he's just doing it again, chasing a new challenge, proving that he can succeed anywhere. From the Cowboys' perspective, though, this departure is a serious blow. For years, Dallas has had one of the most inconsistent kicking situations in the league. Every big game seemed to come down to whether their kicker could handle the pressure, and too often, the answer was no. When Aubrey arrived, that narrative changed overnight. Suddenly, the Cowboys could trust their kicking game again. They could play differently on offense because they knew they had a guy who could convert from 50-plus yards with ease. That confidence shifts the way a team operates. Now, with him gone, the Cowboys are back in uncertainty. Who replaces him? Do they bring in a veteran like Robbie Gould or Mason Crosby to hold down the fort temporarily? Do they draft a rookie and hope lightning strikes twice? None of those options feel as good as having Aubrey. That's the reality. He was one of those rare kickers who didn't just fill a role, he became part of the team's identity. Losing that is huge. And what about the locker room impact? Kicking might seem like a solitary job, but the confidence a team has in its kicker trickles down to every other unit. Players talk about it all the time. Knowing your kicker can hit from distance changes your mindset. You don't press on offense. You don't panic on defense late in games. You know you're always one good drive away from points. That kind of trust is built over time, and it's hard to replace. So you can bet that in the Cowboys locker room right now, there's shock, maybe even some frustration. Because Aubrey wasn't just another player. He was one of the guys who brought calm in chaotic moments. Now he's gone, and someone else has to step up. Now, let's talk about what could happen next. If Aubrey has indeed left the Cowboys, there are a few potential outcomes. One is that he signs a massive contract somewhere else, maybe with a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been hunting for consistent special teams play, or a squad like the Ravens or Chargers looking to strengthen that department. Another possibility is that he sits for a while, waiting for the right situation, because good kickers always find homes in the NFL. But for Dallas, they're now staring at a situation where they've got to make a move fast. Every day they wait, other teams scoop up available kickers. They might need to bring in several guys for tryouts and let training camp sort it out. That's risky, because special teams chemistry takes time. Snappers, holders, kickers, it's a delicate balance. You can't just plug and play like it's Madden. So if Dallas doesn't act quickly, they could be walking into the new season with uncertainty in one of the most overlooked but crucial positions on the field. Some fans might say, well, he's just a kicker. We'll be fine. But anyone who's watched the Cowboys in recent years knows that's not the case. Remember the playoff heartbreaks? The missed extra points in clutch moments? The momentum swings after missed field goals? Special teams can make or break a championship run. Having a great kicker isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And that's why this news stings. You finally had the guy who solved that problem, and now he's gone. It's the kind of story that makes you shake your head and wonder why the football gods won't give Cowboys fans a break. Every time this team seems to take a step forward, something unexpected knocks them back. And while we don't have every behind-the-scenes detail yet, it's safe to assume that this departure will cause waves throughout the Cowboys organization. Jerry Jones has never been shy about making bold decisions, and sometimes those moves come with controversy. Maybe he felt the kicker position wasn't worth the financial investment. Maybe he's confident they can find someone cheaper who can perform close to Aubrey's level. But that's a big gamble. Because for all of Dallas's star power, the Dak Prescotts, the Micah Parsons, the CD Lambs, it's often the smallest details that determine whether they go deep into the playoffs or come up short. The kicking game might not make highlight reels, but it wins games. It decides playoff outcomes. And losing Aubrey means Dallas just lost one of its most consistent weapons. At the end of the day, Brandon Aubrey leaving the Cowboys is more than just a roster transaction. It's the end of a short but powerful chapter, one that reminded fans what consistency and confidence look like in pressure situations. It's a reminder that in the NFL, nothing lasts forever, no matter how well things are going. One moment you're celebrating a game-winning kick, the next, you're reading that the hero is gone. That's the beauty and heartbreak of this sport. So here's to Aubrey, a guy who came out of nowhere, changed the game, and left fans believing again. And here's to the Cowboys, who now have to prove, once again, that they can bounce back from the unexpected and keep their Super Bowl dreams alive. If you're a Cowboys fan, buckle up. This offseason just got a whole lot more interesting.